Good evening, everyone. Glad to have everyone in here with us tonight on a Sunday night. Hopefully, we're coming through loud and clear. As you can see right now, I am without Michael, but Michael hopefully will be joining us really, really soon. So just hang tight, and we'll have Michael on board really soon. He's out doing throwing out some corn for deer tonight. But hopefully he's going to join us at some point in the next few minutes. But so excited to have everyone here. I see a lot of good, familiar faces as always. I appreciate you guys being here. And I want to first off apologize for last week. And I'm dealing with a pretty bad knee injury. And so I haven't been able to detect. And that's sort of putting a cramp in all of my other stuff as well as this. So, guys, just bear with me, and hopefully, I'm going to get this injury taken care of, and I'll be back and out in the field detecting and bringing you guys some great finds and showing you guys all these fantastic machines that we have. But so excited just to be here with you guys on a Sunday night, and I hope everyone has had a fantastic weekend. And as always, we always start with some shout outs. So let's go down the list. We got Mr. Old Pelon in here. Glad to have him in here with us tonight. AC Guy is in here. Glad to have him. Metal Detecting with the CZ Kid. And I appreciate you guys that have sent me emails and text messages checking on Michael and I. I got a little bit of wind for probably about 3 or 4 hours. It was pretty rough as far as we were getting gusts up to 60 miles an hour. And Michael got a little bit of wind. His wasn't as bad as mine, but and it was funny because I was sort of on the tail end of that storm. And so we caught the end of it. My daughter lives in the upstate of South Carolina, and she got it really bad. So she just left from here because she hasn't had power. And luckily, I had power. So she came down and spent the last couple of days with me. And again, we were lucky, but now it looks like we may even have another storm coming. So who knows what's going to happen with these storms. This is just that time of year. But again, I appreciate each and every one of you that reached out to me. And thank you guys so much for doing that. And I know there's some real bad devastation up in North Carolina, the Asheville area, up in the mountains, Chimney Rock, Lake Lure. All of those areas were devastated by this hurricane and the amount of rain that came off of this hurricane in those areas. They're just not used to seeing it. So, yeah, it was pretty rough. But again, thank you guys that reached out checking in on us. But we're good, and hopefully we can dodge a couple of more of these storms, and then all that will sort of calm itself down. But again, thank you guys so much. And Metal Detecting with CZ Kid, glad to have you here tonight. Mr. Wisco Detect, appreciate you joining us tonight. Mr. Old Pelon, we've already mentioned. Digging Daryl, glad to have him in the house with us. Danny N is in the house. Glad to have Danny with us tonight. We got Dirt Devil Detecting, and I appreciate Dirt Devil Detecting. Always a great supporter of the channel. Mr. Rito Marcello, appreciate him being on here all the way from Ireland. So glad to have him with us tonight as well. Mr. Chris is in here. Appreciate Chris being with us. And I'm going through this list. And if I miss anybody, I apologize. Connor's Relics and Treasures. Glad to have Connor in here with us tonight on a Sunday night. Mr. Trevor Van Horn, glad to have him. LC Hunt, always a super supporter of the channel. Appreciate you being in here tonight with us, LC. Finders Keepers is in the house. Glad to have Finders Keepers. We got Aggie, Miss Aggie Hall, Detecting Adventures. Glad to have her in here. Mr. Ricky Bennett, always a great supporter of the channel. Mr. Detector Two Guns, and he had a lot of rough weather too, so I'll be curious to see how things went for him. Mr. Ferris Grump, glad to have Ferris Grump with us. Mr. Greg Dudley is in the house. Appreciate Greg being here. Mr. Jack Felmy Jr., glad to have him. Wilton 925, super excited to have him. Mr. DCM Detects, He's putting up some great videos. Y'all need to check his channel out. Does a great job. Mr. Zapper. I don't know. It's Zapper, I'm assuming is what it is. Glad to have Zapper in here with us. I don't want to miss anybody. Mr. Edward G. Appreciate Edward G being here with us. We've got Mr. Kevin Wood. Thank you, Kevin, for being here tonight. Mr. USMC 615. Appreciate you as well. And I'm trying not to miss anybody. And we got Digging Canuck in the house. So, guys, I appreciate everyone being here. And again, the videos might not be coming quite so much until I get this injury dealt with, but we are going to have some things coming up. We're going to probably be doing some testing videos and those types of things until I can actually get out and detect again. So those are going to be some things that I'm just going to have to deal with over the next few months. It's also the middle of my coaching season, so that makes it a little bit different for me too. So I've had to slow down a little bit, but once this is over with, then I can settle back in, and hopefully we'll be getting out there and bringing you a lot of content. So again, I appreciate you guys being here tonight. So there's been something that I've been playing with, and when Michael comes on, he can elaborate a little bit with this too. And I don't know if any of you saw my video, but I'm going to show a couple of clips from the video that I put up last week using the XP Deus 1. So, I got to thinking, with this new coil that's getting ready to come out, what's something that I could show you guys that might be a representation of what advantages we might have with the new XP Deus 2 coil. And of course, with it being multi-frequency, that's going to be an advantage. But I said, maybe I need to go back and look at what the Deus 1 actually did. And that was my favorite machine of all times. I found a ton of relics and artifacts using the Deus 1. And so I decided I would get out the Deus 1 and I was going to run the HF elliptical coil. And the reason why I chose to run that coil was because I'm thinking that maybe the new coil is going to be something similar to the old coil. So that's part of the reason why I decided to run this coil on this test. But when I got to playing around with it, I was really surprised at what I was seeing. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but this coil will go up to 80 kilohertz. So you can run at a very high frequency. And this is something that is just, phenomenal, but because you can run it that high. And I don't know of it. And there may be some other machines that I'm not aware of, but there may be some other machines out there that can run high frequencies as well. But again, on the Deus 1, you can select the frequency you want to use. So I said, well, I'm going to get the Deus 1 out and I'm going to put on the HF coil and I'm going to do some testing with it. And guys, what I found out was actually really amazing. I basically looked at this and I started noticing that once you got up above 20 kilohertz, it seems like that the unmasking capabilities improved dramatically. So anything below 20, it seems like it struggled. And I've got the video actually shows this, but 14.4, running this in 14.4, it was struggling at unmasking the targets on these test blocks that I was using. Once I got up to 30 or 28, then I noticed that it started unmasking on these elevated nail tests. And then as you went up even more, when you got up into the 70s and then eventually all the way into 80, it made that target sound a lot better. Now, again, it's running at a higher kilohertz. So that's playing a big role in all of this. And again, it deals with the metal too and how that metal, the contents of that metal, but it really makes this thing sing. And this coil still has a lot to offer. this machine still has a lot to offer. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen some cases where this coil running at that higher frequency will unmask better than a multi-frequency machine. And I just was really shocked by it, at what I was seeing out of this coil. And it made me think, hey, the Deus One has still got a lot of life still left in it. This machine was made in 2010, 2011 is when this machine came out. And now we're seeing something 14 years later, and it can still compete with some of the multi-frequency machines. So I don't know if any of you have tried an elevated nail test with this machine. I'm seeing that it's got great results. And I'm even seeing one test in particular where it does even better than some of the multi-frequency machines running at a higher frequency. Now, is the ID good? No, the ID is not good. I mean, you're still going to see, a bad ID because this machine was notorious for that. But when you put that target next to a non-ferrous, or you put that target next to a nail, a colonial nail that I dug and deliberately, brought back with me so I could do these types of tests, because I knew these nails were challenging out in the field. But when you do that, you get a great sound when you have a non-ferrous target near that nail. So you're going to dig that regardless. And again, you may dig more nails. So I just think that the Deus One still has a lot to offer. So if I were buying a single frequency machine, there's still a lot of good things left in this machine running in a selectable single frequency is what I'm telling you. And you knew that XP knew that because they put that fast 40 on the Deus 2. And what they realize is running, like I've been saying all along, when you run in 40 kilohertz, it seems like that does the best at unmasking. So this machine still has a lot to offer. What I'm real curious to see is when the new coil comes out, what are going to be the higher frequencies that we're going to see with the new coil and the shape and the design of the elliptical coil. Is there going to be more than just one coil too? That's the next question. And so I think that there's a lot to be said about what's coming, and there's a lot to still be said about this coil and unmasking situations. And I think that's where we're seeing a big difference. And could it be the shape of this coil? I don't have an HF round coil. And if some of you have an HF round coil, I'd be real curious to see if you ran an elevated nail test, what you see when you run up in those higher frequencies, and can you unmask with that elevated nail test? I don't have the HF round, which I wish I did because I'd really be curious. Is it the design and the shape of this coil that's causing that to work a little better, or is it the higher frequencies that these things can actually run? So again, that's my question. And maybe some of you can elaborate on some of this as well. And again, I see a lot of comments coming across, and I'm sorry to if I missed anything. Yes, Rito, I saw something from Rito. Rito says that he buried his mother. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Rito. My condolences and prayers for you and your family as well. So again, sorry to hear that. That's a tough situation. I just went through that with my dad, so I get it 100%, and that's tough for sure. Edward G said they had a tornado touchdown near them, and we were under tornado warnings pretty much all day on Friday as well. Detective Two Guns says he dodged a bullet there in Central Florida as well. Dirt Devil Detecting says he got him a beauty of a 3-ringer, definitely dropped. And Zapper, I would agree with you. This is one of the best coils. And I sort of dismissed this coil for a while, and now that I've come back to it again, it's really opened my eyes. And of course, I'm a little bit wiser to things than what I was when I originally had this. And so it's opened my eyes, though, especially when I've run some of these tests. And so, yes, 80 kilohertz is mental. It is, Dean Canuck, for sure. PG Digger says, yeah. He says, hey, everyone, I love my Deus 1 and Deus 2. I'm telling you, this thing is awesome. And I'm going to show a clip in just a second that sort of demonstrates what I'm talking about. Somebody says, I wonder whatever happened to the Quest Q80. Everything that I have heard, number one, you can't get it here in the United States. I believe you can get it in Europe. And everyone that I have talked to that sort of played around with that machine over there seems like not a big fan for whatever reason. Now, I don't know much about it other than I knew that it goes up in a higher frequency as well. So, but I haven't seen a lot of people say really positive things about that Quest machine. But again, I don't have one, so it's hard for me to say anything either. So, yes, Zapper says it's a jewelry magnet. I'm sure it is. Yeah, because you're going to find those little small pieces of gold with this machine as well as jewelry. And so, again, you're definitely going to find that. So let's see here. CZ Kid says, yeah, I've been watching some silencer vids on the XP Deus 2. Yeah, I think adding the half step adjustments, I think would be great. The funny thing is when you run this machine, I run that silencer at -1. So running that silencer at -1, and then you run the silencer at 1 or 0, it'd be nice if we had a 0.5 between 0 and 1. That would be really cool. And like you said, having half numbers would be really great. PG Digger says, yeah, I found a lot of stuff with my Deus 1. Well, I'm telling you, you can still find a lot of stuff with this machine. It's just a good. He says, shh, don't tell anybody. I agree. Hey, look, I'm telling you, after running these tests, it really opened my eyes. And Michael saw some of those tests this past weekend, and he was just like, he couldn't believe it either. Yes, and again, finders keepers is exactly right. It's interesting how you can take different machines into a site and find items you passed over with others. Right, and I took the Deus 2 right into a site where I had hunted with the Deus 1, but I never had this coil on that site. So that's making me want to go back to that site and run this coil, running the settings. And I'm running Deus fast on this machine. And it would be interesting to see if I could still pick out some things that I could have possibly missed. I know I'm going to probably dig a few more nails because this thing will false. And those Colonial forged hand-cut nails, they're the worst in a lot of these situations. So, yeah, it's very, very tough. Yes, Edward G says, yeah, Pastry has said a lot of great things about this coil as well. I agree. It's a fantastic coil. Glad to have Matt Johnson in here. Glad to have you, Matt. Appreciate you being in here. And so we appreciate him. Finders Keeper says that he does the same thing with Deus 2. General, I have sites I use just for that. It's an amazing hobby, to say the least, right? You can go back, and that's why it's good to have different coil sizes to use on different sites. It's good to have different machines to use on different sites, running different programs each time. If you got the ability to be able to go back to a site, you want to try to do some of those things, because it's amazing what those sites can open up and bring to you when you start changing up some of those things. So again, very rare to see a Quest. Yeah, I haven't seen one. Lance says that he had a Quest Q30. He says it's the worst detector he ever owned. Like I said, I've never owned one. So again, I just have to take you guys' word for it. Yes, I get it. A Drummond detect says, yeah, the HF rocks. And what really got me thinking about it is, if this thing does so good, what is a multi-frequency HF coil going to be like for the Deus 2? Because I know what this thing is doing. I've seen it. And to think that there's going to be one for the Deus 2, is it going to be that big step up? And that's what got me thinking about all of this was, I said, well, let's go back and look at the HF coil and what they did with it originally. And then when I started testing it, and I tested it against some multi-frequency machines, and this coil running at that higher frequency seems to do really, really well at unmasking. And for whatever reason, once you get above 20 kilohertz, it seems like it really changes these machines once you get up there like that. So Digging Daryl says, will XP have to send out an update with this new coil? I think they will, because you're going to have the ability to be able to go up. But I think whatever the new update is, I think we're going to see some improvements in some other areas too. Now, I don't know that for sure, but XP, they're really good. And when I go back and look at this machine, they were so far ahead of their time with this machine. I mean, because think about it, 2010, 2011, now it's 2024, and I'm still sitting here talking about this machine. And that's what's got me excited about this new coil and what XP might have up their sleeve as we get closer and closer. I do know this coil will be out before the end of the year. When, I don't know. That's the only thing. And I'm hoping that, I'll be able to get one and show you guys what the potential is of the coil, what it can actually do, take it out to a couple of my sites, test it, show it a little bit. And hopefully you guys will benefit from that when you get yours as well. So that's what I'm hoping for. But a high frequency coil on the Deus 2, it's got to be doing something really crazy and really amazing. Because this one definitely did some really, really good things running in those higher frequencies. Hey, Sniff It Out, glad to have you in here tonight. Don't Tread on Me, Metal Detecting is in here with us. Glad to have you with us here tonight. Mark Traylor is here with us. Glad to have you, Mark. He says, that's the only coil I use with the Deus 1. And I know why. Trust me, after what I've seen these last few days, I've seen it. And he says, yeah, that coil is real sensitive. I run it at 85. It don't fall on nails then and cleans up the sound. Right, because usually when you're running these things, you're not really looking for depth, but this thing does have pretty decent depth. You're usually running it in really trashy areas where you got that carpet full of nails, where you have a lot of trash that could be floating around. So that's when you're usually running this. You're not actually looking for depth. And so the sensitivity, you could probably bump it down. I run mine at 90. So I can get away with running it at 90, and it seems to run very well at 90 as well. Finders Keepers says, yeah, I've always said the Deus 1 was really the pioneer of super fast processors, light and compact. I agree with you 100%. And again, after running these tests, that really opened my eyes. So real quick, what I want to do is I want to show this test that I did. And let's see if I can pull this up here. And I want you guys to see what this actually does. And if I can, we're gonna show just a couple of clips from the video. And we're gonna skip through. So I want to show the first part of this, which is, let's get off that, which is the 14.4 kilohertz. So I want to show that first. And let me pull this up. Let's X out of this. Sorry, guys. And I am using, again, a new software program. So, all right, let's look at this video real quick. And I think you guys will appreciate what I'm saying. This is 14.4 kilohertz. Check this out. No problem there. All right, let's move on to our next one. Our next target is a 1-inch elevated colonial nail beside a colonial button. Listen to this. And this is in 14.4 kilohertz. Does pretty good on that one. Let's look at our next one. Now we have a 1.5-inch elevated colonial nail beside a colonial button. You guys can see. That's it. Will not hit this one. And again, we're in 14.4 kilohertz. Let's go to the next target. This next test will be a 2-inch colonial nail elevated above a colonial button. Let's see what happens here. Again, 14.4 kilohertz. Nothing. Let's check out our last one, which is the hardest one. This is the hardest test, a 3-inch colonial nail above a mercury dime. And we got nothing. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to Okay, so that was 14.4 that you guys just saw. I'm going to fast forward, okay, get y'all through. So I'm going to jump up and I'm going to show this, and I want y'all to see what happens this time once I jumped up in frequency. Just for all practical purposes, we're going to go up to 31, which is the max, and that is the next frequency shift that we can do. So let's check out 31,373 kilohertz on the unmasking test, and let's see how it does this time. Okay, we're back to our same plane test with the nickel, and again we're at a frequency of 31 with the elliptical HF coil. Let's see what happens here. No problem. We're seeing an ID of 55, 56, 60 on that one. Let's check out our next target. This time we have the slanted colonial nail above a colonial button. Let's see how it does on this one. And every now and then we'll get a flash of a 40. Just hit it. That's all right. And sometimes a 67, 96. It's a little jumpy as far as the VDI numbers go. Let's look at our next target. Next target is a 1-inch colonial nail above a colonial button. And I do have the iron volume turned down here too, guys. And the target ID numbers are 01 for the most part. Every now and then we'll get an 06, but again, hitting the target. And just to let you guys see, if we took away the button, nothing. And again, I have the iron volume turned off. Put the button back. Hits it with no problem. All right, let's look at our next one. Next target is a 1.5-inch.
This is probably the hardest one because the nail that I used is actually really big.
Struggling with this one a little bit. Sounds sort of grunty a little bit too. But it is hitting it. And this is a big nail too, by the way. Okay,
Okay, let's keep going. Next target. Next target is a 2-inch colonial nail above a colonial button. No problem here. Sometimes you get a one-way signal, and you can get a two-way signal.
Okay, so just to reiterate that, let's stop the screen for a minute. Okay, so you guys got to see this machine, which was made in 2010, 2011, is hitting those targets, elevated nail targets down the barrel. I mean, that's a tough test. And I've got multi-frequency machines that when I go up to 2 inches and 3 inches, those machines won't hit those targets. So that's why I'm so excited about what XP's got coming, because I'm seeing a great unmasking coil here in the Deus One in an older machine. And what's the newer coil going to be like? If this thing can hit it, who knows? Maybe the unmasking capabilities are going to just improve dramatically with a new HF coil for the Deus 2. Yes, thank you so much, CZ Kid. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, guys, please hit that thumbs up as I'm going solo right now without Michael, but I appreciate each and every one of you being here. What are you guys' thoughts on this? How many of you have used the Deus One with an HF coil? And I'm real curious. What do you guys think about that test? And how do you guys think that this machine and this coil, how do you think that's going to translate into the newer coil? Because if it's, in my opinion, if it's anything like this and it's going to be put into multi and it can still hit it, that's going to be pretty amazing, I think. Arthur Schwartz is on here. He says, yeah, if the Deus One had a louder speaker, I would still use it. It's too hot down here for headphones. Right. Yeah, I get it. I get it 100%. Finders Keeper says, you had the advantage being over the stamped concrete. Broom finish would be different. Yeah, I could take it out there on, I mean, I've tried it on the grass too. I mean, it does really good. I don't know what to say. I mean, other than from what I saw, versus some of these other machines, it's really interesting to see what this machine is still capable of doing. And that was running Deus fast. I was running 3 tones. My silencer was at -1. So my reactivity was set at 3. So yeah, I had all of those. Let's see here. Let's see if we can. Trying to pull in Michael. Michael, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't see you though. So that's not good. Michael's on here with us, but I can't get his picture to come in. There he is. Hey, Michael.
Hey.
What's going on, buddy?
I'm riding down the road.
Well, you don't need to be riding down that road.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to check in, see how everybody was doing this evening.
Yeah, well, I told him you were out doing some corn, throwing out some corn for the deer.
Well, what we're doing was replanting. We had so much rain, we planted food plots, and it washed the seeds away, and I had to go back and replant them. So,
okay,
that's what I was doing this afternoon.
Well, Michael, you can elaborate. I just showed them some clips of the HF coil, and you saw this yesterday. Tell them what you saw yesterday with this HF coil.
What I saw is the higher frequency seemed to do a lot better on those elevated nail tests. So, if we run it at, 30 or better, it done a lot better on that test, even better than the multi-frequency machines.
Yeah, so, I know. and Michael saw me pull out some of those multi-frequency machines and do the same test. And this machine actually did better. Now, I'll tell you, even when I ran it in pitch, and I think it sounded really good running in pitch, which is what I used to use. And then Michael ran it by turning the frequency up in a two-tone program, and it really just jumped out at you really good. And again, these HF coils still have a lot of power and a lot of punch still left in them. Didn't you think so, Michael?
I think so. And I mean, the ID is not as good on that machine, but you're getting a good tone on it. And you're actually getting a tone where you're not getting a tone on the Manicore or the Deus 2 on those the 3-inch elevated nail tests.
Yeah, on the 3-inch and the 2-inch is where all of those machines struggled. This one actually, I mean, it wasn't a great signal, but you could tell the target was there, which I found to be really interesting, especially on those two hard tests of 2-inch and 3-inch nails raised up above. So Finders Keepers, he says he was being sarcastic. He said because I was running it over. He was telling me I was running it over the pavement, the patio that I had. He said, but you had an advantage. So he was being sarcastic. But yeah, you can take it and try it yourself. I'm just telling you what I saw, and Michael can tell you what he saw yesterday. Whenever we were out playing around with it, sort of seeing what it would actually do. So, but like I said, my main thing is if this coil is that good on the Deus 1, what is it going to be like on the Deus 2 being able to run multi-frequency? What do you think, Michael?
I think it's going to be something pretty special. Multi with that higher frequency, but it's something we're going to have to look at. I know, we tested the Deus 2 and just your fast 40, and we weren't getting as good of results. So there's something else going on there, and I don't know if it's something we're going to have to.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Whether it be which disc and the silencer. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe it is the
what do you think's going on,
Brian?
Yeah.
I don't know either, Michael. I think the higher frequencies, are where we're seeing the advantage. I think it could be the shape of the coil too, but I don't have an HF round to actually test. So, I don't know. If the HF round will pass that same test, running it up in those higher frequencies, then that would be the telltale sign for me. But I know this one will pass that test. So, I don't know. Is it the shape? Is it this 5x or 9x5 shape that they've got here, or is it the frequencies? I don't know, but it's definitely doing something that we're not seeing even with some of the multi-frequency machines.
Right. And we talked about that.
Yeah.
I wish we had one of those 9-inch to try that with, and see if it's the shape of the coil.
Right. Yeah. It's just really, really strange, but this, yeah, I can hear you. So it's really strange, but again, guys, check out. Yeah, Zapper says it is the coil, so he's saying it is the coil. I'm starting to agree with him though. I think it is too because it really just locks on to those targets, even with those hard coil hand-force nails.
It may be the shape of that coil,
It could be. It could be. And again, if they come out with something for the Deus 2 that's similar to this, then I think they're gonna definitely hit a home run there too. So it's real interesting. Rito says, yeah, is the battery in the stem or coil or coil on that. It's in the stem. So if you were to, here, I can take this out and show this to you guys real quick. If you were to take this out, there's the coil, and the battery is right here in the end of the stem. You would open it up, and there's the battery. You guys can see it. So the battery is in the stem. There's what this coil looks like. And that's the footprint of this coil. But I was just really blown away.
I actually like that stem, that battery in the stem better. That design. I know it's not as good for diving, but you know, if you're just land hunting, I like that battery better in the stem. I think it helps with the EMI, and if you ever have to change that, it's a whole lot easier just to unscrew it and screw another one in. Otherwise, you're having to send the coil in. You know.
Yeah, I like that too. I sort of wish they would do it with all the coils, just so when the battery dies,
I really do.
You know, just to buy one and then stick it back in. Maybe they will. I don't know. You know what? You know, there's one other thing too that we're really not talking about a lot, and that is this smaller coil. What's this going to do for beach hunters? Because you weren't able to use this coil on the beach, Michael.
Right.
Not in the water, not in the salt water. You couldn't use it. So that's going to open up some avenues for beach hunters too, being able to run those higher frequencies and have that smaller coil they can get out in the water in. So,
right.
You know, when it comes out for the Deus 2 and you got a waterproof coil, you got a waterproof machine, and then you're going to be able to take that thing out. You don't have all that drag in the water. I'd be interested to see how thin the design's going to be on it too, because this one's sort of thick. If you look at it, it's a pretty thick coil. So I'm wondering if it'll be any thinner in the design. But again, not a lot of drag if you're swinging it through the water, out at the beach. So if you wanted to do that, then it would make things a little bit easier with the smaller. Yes, it will be waterproof.
I would think they could incorporate that same plug like they have on the back of the remote into the plug for the battery that goes into the shaft, and that should make it just as waterproof.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So Ferris Grump says, I'm looking forward to finding diamond stud earrings and pirate nuggets. Yeah, you could definitely
It should find the smaller stuff for sure.
It will definitely find some of those smaller pieces of gold. And that's what that original coil was designed for, was mainly for the people out west that were looking for little small specks of gold. And so, but yeah, I mean, who knows what kind of doors are going to be opened up when we get this new coil. Some doors that weren't there even with this original coil. And I think it's going to just, I already believe that XP makes the most versatile machine out there. I think you've got so many options that you can do with an XP machine. You can dive, you can park hunt, you can land hunt, you can relic hunt, you can do all those things. And then you got all of these different settings and features that you just don't see on some of the other machines that make it unique in a lot of ways. And the audio on the XP machines is just so superior. Like Michael and I were saying yesterday when we were out testing, we were looking at it and we were going, well, you could just take the remote and stick it in your pocket and you would still dig that target.
What I was impressed with, Brian, is, the Deus 1, it's still an awesome machine even today. And when it came out, it was just light years ahead of the rest of the machines out there. I mean, it really was. And
yeah, it was.
It's still a great machine now.
I said that when I started off the show, that machine was made in 2010, 2011, in that range. And we're still talking about it 14 years later. I mean, how many other machines that are 14 years old could we say that about? You know, I don't know that there's many. And I'm just sitting here saying right now that I can still go out with this machine running this HF coil, and I might find some things that I'm missing even with these new multi-frequency machines.
Right.
Just because I can run that higher frequency. You know, that's going to open up some doors, and it's going to open up some of your sights too. That's the thing you guys have got to keep in mind when this new coil comes out. I mean, how much more stuff are you going to be able to find with this new coil versus what you did with the older coils or the original coils? That's what's going to be so interesting when these coils come out is, what's going to happen with that. Yes, thank you so much, Ferris Grump. I appreciate it. He says hit that like button. Thank you guys so much. Key Date Kid says the CTX 3030. And I don't know, what was the frequency range on the CTX 3030?
I'm not sure.
Casey? Yeah, I don't know either because I never owned a CTX 3030. Now I had a MindLab E-Track. So I don't know. Maybe Casey can fill me in on that, or maybe somebody else is in here. And maybe that's why that machine really excelled. I know it excelled really well out on the beach from everybody that I've ever talked to. Yes, the HF coil did come out much later, but again, it goes along with the hardware, and they just kept upgrading and upgrading that hardware. Did you know that version 6 came out in 2023 for this machine, the Deus One? So they were still making updates for this machine. Version 6 was the last one, and that's the one that I've got on this machine right now. Does anybody know what the frequency ranges were on the CTX 3030? And Casey, check out Casey too. If you guys don't know, the Key Date Kid is Casey from Excalibur Shovels. Go check out, if you're looking for a great shovel, he makes a great one. He puts a lot of craftsmanship and workmanship into his product. So definitely check him out. Key Date Kid says it went from 1 to 100. Did you know? Yeah, I never knew that it went up that high.
Well, I'm not sure, but I know it wouldn't quite as good on gold as a lot of the later machines. So I don't know. I know it was better than like the E-Track or the
Oh yeah. Well, it was definitely a lot faster too than the E-Track. Yeah, as far as the processing speed. But I never used a CTX 3030, but yeah, if it goes up to 100 kilohertz, but did it have an elliptical coil? Did it have a small coil that you could buy for it? Did it have the little puck coil that you?
It had a 6-inch coil. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe.
But they did. I think they did have a Coiltech coil for it as well. Now I'm not sure what size that coil was, but I think it was an elliptical coil.
Right. That would be interesting to see how that one compares. But I'm going to tell you right now, I know the audio on that Deus One is way better than the audio was on that CTX 3030. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, because I've used MindLab machines before too, and I mean, I had an E-Track. I didn't have a CTX, but I know that Deus One audio is just top notch in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, and I knew, and that was the other thing. Yeah, I knew it was heavy. It was like swinging a brick, digging, Daryl said.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So, but I didn't know it went up to 100. So that would be interesting to see if we put a small coil on that and we jack that frequency range up, if it would unmask really good.
Yeah. It would be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys that have one of those machines could actually maybe go back and test that and see. So I don't know. And by the way, too, we've got our members only live stream that's going to be coming up, which should be sometime maybe this weekend, next Sunday night. And we're going to do a regular live stream also next week as well. And we're going to, but we are going to have our members only live stream. And we've got some fantastic giveaways that we're going to be doing on the members only live stream. So if you're not a member to that, you might want to get in on that. So maybe you can get a chance to win. We share some great information. Maybe I'll have some more information to share with you about what we're seeing with these with this Deus One coil, with the elliptical coil, on some of these unmasking tests, as well as I may have some information from XP coming up. But I do believe that the new coil more than likely will be here by the end of the year. I don't think it's going to happen next month. I really don't, but we'll see. Things could change. You never know. So Key Day Kid says, I think old CTX 3030s are used as boat anchors. They're heavy for sure.
They are heavy.
Yeah, I just like to test one just with a smaller coil on it and running the frequency up just to see if it would perform as good as what the elliptical HF coil did on this test. That's what I would be interested in seeing, because that elliptical HF coil really excelled. So again, we do have our members only live stream, which will be coming up on Sunday night. We will have our regular live stream, probably won't be till next week, probably Tuesday of next week. So that will be the next one. But we've got some great giveaways. And I'm going to show real quick. We're going to put this up here. So all of you may know Relics and Rings. He's got a website called Andrew's Gearbox. And we're going to be giving away one of his T-shirts that he has for design. And you can go there and purchase one of these T-shirts. But we're going to be giving away one of these nice T-shirts. You guys can see here. And he's got a whole bunch of different designs on his website. You can scan that QR code if you got your phone and you're tuning in on a computer, and it will take you right to his site. But we're going to be giving away a couple of these T-shirts. We've got, and this is going to be on the members only live stream. We're going to be giving away some XP finders pouches. So we're going to be giving that away on the members only live stream. We've got a couple of really nice hats, also from Andrew's Gearbox, which you can see there. And that's Relics and Rings, but we're going to be giving away some hats. Got some other prizes and things from XP that we're going to be giving away. That's going to be for the members only live stream. So definitely check that out. Definitely, we're going to have some really cool stuff that we're also going to be giving away. But check out Relics and Rings site there, Andrew's Gearbox. It's got some great T-shirts, hats, all sorts of really neat stuff. Let me see if I can. I was going to say I might be able to pull it up, but yeah. Well, anyway, go check that out. If you scan that QR code, it'll take you right to that website. And he's got some really cool items there for sale. And we're going to be giving away a couple of those really cool items on our members only live stream coming up on Sunday night. So if you're not a member, join it. We will have some giveaways too for the next live stream that we do for our regular subscribers too, because I don't want to leave you guys out. But we're going to have some more things too. We're going to be giving away there as well. And by the way, Michael got his knife. Didn't you,
yeah,
Mike?
I did get my knife.
Yeah, he finally got his knife. So yeah, some really cool shirts. They are. Go check his site out. Edward G says, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, we've got a couple of really great giveaways that we're going to be doing on the members live stream coming up on next Sunday night. So Michael, anything you want to elaborate on? I mean, like I said, I haven't been able to do much detecting because of my knee injury right now. Michael, you got any plans coming up for some detecting adventures or anything going on?
Well, it's got to dry out here, so I mean it's super wet here. I mean it's really wet, the ground. So hopefully, I know they're talking about another storm.
Yeah.
Maybe coming up the coast. So I don't know if we'll get to dry out a little bit or not. I hope so. But it's supposed to cool down. So if it does dry out, yeah, I might try to get out and go some.
You need to get out and go. I wish I could go. Edward G says it's about time you got your knife, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, he said it's about time. So we're waiting on. There's a couple other things too. I'm going to mention real quick before we dive off of here. We're waiting on hearing something back from Nocta, which I've reached out to them about the possibility of the Legend update. And the last I heard, it was going to be coming really, really soon, but I haven't seen anything else about that. So I'm hoping that Nocta will get that out real soon and get you guys rolling who have the Legend, if you're interested. So if I get any news on that or I hear anything back from Nocta, then I will definitely let you guys know as soon as I hear anything. So that's coming out. I will say this too: the triple score got another update like 2 or 3 weeks ago. If you missed that, you might want to go. If you haven't updated yet, go upload that new update. It does make things run a little bit more smoother, better on the beach. Pinpoint feature has been improved. So there's some good things that Nocta did with the triple score. For those of you that have the triple score, that machine's coming around really, really well. And of course, Mind Lab still, there's really not much going on with Mind Lab right now, other than we love our 9-inch coil, don't we, Michael?
Yeah, it is a great coil.
Right.
Like I said, I'm really excited about that new HF coil, elliptical coil after the testing that we've done.
Right. And that's the reason why I wanted to show that coil, because I think when people see the older coil doing that, it's definitely got to get you fired up for the newer coil, because that coil still has, like I've been saying, it still has a lot of punch left in it. And to think that, we're talking about, this, and it's considered, an older machine, and we're still able to get some good usage out of the Deus One. And that just made me realize why I love the Deus One so much. Did it not make you feel that way, Michael, when you went out?
It really did. It really did. I mean, it's, I used it for years. This is a great machine,
Yeah, it really is. It is, and it just makes me. I'm so nostalgic about it, because when I bought it, I was like the only person in my whole area that had one at that point, and I got butterflies when I got that machine. Went out and started using it, and the rest was history. Love that machine. Digging Daryl says. Treasure Fest 7 is coming October 11th through the 13th. They sold 300 tickets. It's going to be a great event. And I know Dig and Daryl lives in that area, and I know that's a great event. I wish I could be there, but unfortunately, it's right in the middle of my coaching season and my school season too. So I got a lot going on. Dwayne Crum says that a buddy of his just got the triple score. I can't get anywhere near him with the day. The day is too terrible. Silent EMI noise canceling has minimal effects. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I've never run both of those machines at the same time, so that's hard for me to even tell you if I'm doing that too. But I'm assuming yes. So the triple score, but it does have a new update. If you haven't already installed it, I think it was 3 weeks ago. Liz is on here. She might be able to elaborate if she's seen anything with the triple score with those improvements. She might be able to elaborate on that as well. So, Michael, you got a lot of fuzz going on.
Well, I'm sitting in the parking lot, so.
Is it raining? It sounds like it's raining or something.
No, that was one of those loud trucks going by, without the exhaust on it.
With the exhaust on it. All right. Anything else, Michael, we can talk about before we get off of here?
That's pretty much it for now. I know you hadn't been able to get out a whole lot, and I hadn't either. So, but yeah, that's just something we done over the weekend, that testing, and Brian told me about it. He wanted to show me what was going on, and he's right. It's pretty remarkable to see that.
Yeah, it is remarkable. And again, if that's got to get you fired up for the new coil as well. And I think whatever XP does with this new coil, I think it's a home run regardless. I think people are going to be real excited when they get that coil. And I can't wait to see what they do with the update. The update might be the bigger thing if that ends up happening, you know. But I would think they would have to update the software to run that coil. At least that's my thinking. But I haven't been told that. But that's just sheer speculation. So, so hey, Michael, we see your dashboard now.
Really?
Yeah, you flipped it around.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Dale said you might need to change frequency, Michael.
Yeah, let me see what I got going on.
All right. Well, guys, don't forget while Michael's sitting there playing around with his phone, there he is. There he's back. Don't forget about the members only live stream next Sunday night. We'll have our regular live stream probably on that Tuesday. So don't forget about both of those. Those will be coming up. Maybe we'll have some more information to share with you. We're going to do some more testing with this HF coil and see if we can figure out what's going on there. And maybe, we'll have some more video to share with you guys as well. But again, I know this was a lot of XP talk, and some of you are not XP users. You're MindLab users or not the users or Garrett users. Oh, by the way, we didn't even mention the Garrett. So Vortex, I don't know. I mean, it's just that's a guess, and your guess is as good as mine. I want to see it come out because I would like to try the machine, and hopefully that's coming real soon. And as soon as we hear any more information on that, we'll be glad to pass it along. And I appreciate each and every one of you being here with us tonight. Hopefully you got some information out of that, showing those clips and showing that HF coil. If you've still got a Deus One, take it out with that HF coil and test it, because I would have never thought to test it. If it hadn't have been that I knew this new coil was coming, then I probably wouldn't have ever tested that coil on the block test. And, once I saw that, that really got me excited about the possibilities of the new coil, but it also got me excited about what I was seeing out of the old coil too. So
it did me too. It really did.
It did. Yeah. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their week. Hopefully no more storms, Michael. Maybe these storms will just shoot on by us. And we'll be preparing for another live stream on next Sunday night. And then we may come back to you with a regular live stream. And maybe I might pop up. You never know. But we're going to try to come back with a regular live stream on that Tuesday. So we're going to try to keep it going. There's not a ton of stuff going on right now other than what we're seeing with some of these tests. And that's what I'm sort of stuck doing. I don't like doing testing type stuff, but that's the only thing I can sort of do right now. So we're going to bring you whatever information we can bring you, show you, and help out somebody that's bought one of these different machines. And that's what we're trying to do. But again, thank you guys so much. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a great rest of your week. We'll catch you guys real soon. Thank you for joining. And remember, we'll see you on our next adventure. Take care.